Hey guys, Ghost Prepper here, and today I'm going to show you what's in my personal get home bag. So stick around, it's going to be a good one. Guys, before we move on, if you could please do me a favor and destroy that like button. Thank you so much, it helps me out a lot. Okay guys, so today we're going through the contents of my personal get home bag. Now this get home bag lives in the trunk of my vehicle and it's there just in case of any emergencies. Now before we proceed, I want to talk about exactly what a get home bag is. A lot of people confuse it with a bug out bag or a 72-hour bag. That's not the case for this. So the whole purpose of this kit is just to simply get home. So let's say I'm at work at the office or I'm out running errands. This is enough to get me home. I would say this is maybe only like a 24-hour kit, something like that. Reason being, I don't go that far from home, but just to not to confuse anyone, this is a get home bag. So before we get into it, let's look at the bag. This is an old Under Armour backpack I had. I wanted to keep it kind of inexpensive and also going with the gray man aesthetic. So I kept with this Under Armour bag and just to keep the costs down. I think it works really well. I used it in college a bunch, so I know it can hold a decent amount of weight with books and laptops and stuff like that. So I used to use it for years. It's a good pack. It served me well and it's continuing to serve me in the trunk of my vehicle. So let's go ahead and look at some of the contents. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this front pocket. So opening the front, the first thing you have is some Saber pepper spray. This is a nice non-lethal option for self-defense. I currently do not have my concealed carry. I know you could boo ghost, what are you doing? I don't have it, I'm sorry. So this is sort of the next best option. I do EDC a pocket knife on me. I almost always have some sort of pocket knife as well, but just as another sort of range defense option, I like to carry this Saber pepper spray. Next item we have in here is one of these little paracord survival bracelets. These things are really nice. I don't have a lot of cordage in this kit, and it's just really light, plus I can just throw it on my wrist and sort of get on the move. I like this. It's got a fire starter as well, or a ferro rod. It's got a little button compass as well as one of those rescue survival whistles and some cordage. So it's a lot of different survival tools. I live in a suburban environment, so I don't plan on starting a ton of fires or anything like that, but it is nice to just have a couple little survival items and the convenience of a bracelet. As you can see, I don't know if it's a little big, so if you guys know a way to shrink these without taking the whole thing apart, let me know down in the comments. That would be very helpful. Next we're going to go into, I have a multi-tool. This was a just inexpensive little multi-tool I have. It's not as good as like a Leatherman or a Gerber, but I still like having one. It still has a lot of screwdrivers, can openers, pliers, stuff like that. So I just like having that because it does live in my vehicle, so hopefully I can use some of this if I need to make any sort of repairs. Transitioning to repairs, I also have some zip ties, black zip ties. I have a lot of car buddies. I have found that you can fix a lot of things on a car with some zip ties. So that's why I like having these in my get home bag. Hopefully I can make necessary repairs and, like I said, just get home. If not, there's a ton of different uses for zip ties, so not a bad thing to have in your kit. Really inexpensive. They don't weigh a lot as well. Next is a Coleman headlamp. I've used this headlamp a bunch of times. I used to work in a warehouse, and I remember once or twice we lost power, and I actually had to use this to get around the warehouse and still continue to do work and stuff like that. So it's not super bright. I just have a main flashlight, and then it has a lower lumen red, and then it has like a beacon blinking mode. So just takes AAA batteries, super straightforward, nice little headlamp, but I've used this a bunch of times. This has saved me, so definitely a good thing to have in your get home bag. And then up next I have my fire starting supplies. So in here I have a Bic as well as some box and cardboard matches, and they're all wrapped in a nice little Ziploc bag. I don't have a ton more, anything super. Like I said, I've got the ferro rod on my paracord survival bracelet as well. So I've got a couple different ways to make fire. I don't really, like I said, I don't really go that far, and I live in the suburbs, so I don't plan on starting a fire like on anyone's lawn or anything like that, but it is nice, especially during the colder months, to know that you can be able to build a fire and keep warm. So I do like to have that just in case, but I don't think it would come into too much play. So up next, we're going to check this front pocket. In here, I only have one thing, and that is my Adventure Medical Kits First Aid Kit 2.0. I have to do a in-depth review of this, guys. I love this first aid kit. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's such a good comprehensive first aid kit. I think you can get it on Amazon for like around $20, and it just has everything I need and nothing I don't. It's good for 1 to 4 people. What I like about it is not only does it have this nice little carry handle on top, so it's easy to pull out of the pack as long as you put that towards the top, but it also has a full contents list on the back. And I like when you open it up, everything's in a nice clear pouch. It's really easy to find everything. I have a bunch of, like I said, medical supplies. I've got scissors, tweezers. It also comes with a little button compass and a SOL Slim rescue hauler, which is awesome to have in a kit as well. And it comes with a bunch of different individually wrapped medications. So I love these kits. Remind me, I got to do a video of one of these. I just absolutely love them. But yeah, that's my first aid kit. I also have some tablets as well. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I have stat tablets as well as some water purification tablets in there as well. So just a great kit to have, and I think that's one of the most important things you could have in your vehicle is definitely a first aid kit. And this is a definite recommend by me. That's the only thing I have in that front pouch. Alright, so let's go into this next pocket. So starting off, the only full meal I have is a Mountain House granola with milk and blueberry. The reason I have this one is because you can hydrate it. It's actually recommended to use cold water. I've had these before. If you follow my Tasty Tuesdays, I did a video on this. It's really good. It's 520 calories for the whole pouch. And it's really easy. You just put some cold water into it, let it rehydrate, remove the oxygen absorber beforehand. But yeah, you just put water in, let it rehydrate, and it's good to eat. It's nice, good calories, 520 calories, and you don't need a stove or anything like that. I see a lot of guys with Gethomebag, and they've got stoves and all this other stuff. To me, if you're going to do meals, I would either do stuff that you can just simply rehydrate, or something that's all-inclusive like MREs. I don't want to bring a bunch of weight, because remember, ounces turns to pounds, pounds turns to miles, and the whole goal of this bag is to just get home as quickly as possible. That's where all your emergency supplies are, that's where all your preps are, so you want to try to get home as quickly as possible. So I want to be able to just put something, I can even put water in this, reseal it, throw it in my pack, keep walking, and then, you know, take a break once it's been rehydrated. So that's why I like something like this. And then I also have snacks. You never want to not have snacks. This is all stuff I can just eat while walking. So I've got these tuna creations, some Cliff Bars. I have like an instant coffee as well as some of these Starbucks refreshers, some cough drops, just stuff to kind of keep me going and give me a little bit of energy while I'm hiking home. That's all I want. Like I said, it's not a, you know, I'm going to be living out in the woods kind of kit. It's just to get home as quickly as possible. And these are all really quick snacks to just keep my energy up so I can just keep putting miles down. Then up next, I do have some scrap paper. I think this is good, especially for leaving notes. Let's say for whatever reason I have to leave my vehicle behind. I can leave notes either for people that are looking for me, or just, hey, you know, I had to leave my car, I'll come back. You know, let's say there's some sort of blizzard or something. I can leave notes just so people don't tow away my car. And I can just let people know, you know, I headed this direction or what have you. It's just nice to have notes. You can also use scrap paper for fire starting and stuff like that. So paper, a lot of good reasons to have it. Very valuable. Up next, I do have a little bit of paracord, not a ton. I think it's like 4 feet of paracord. Like I said, not a ton, but you can use the individual strands. And I do have the stuff on the bracelet as well. But it is nice to have a little bit of cordage just in case I need to make a repair, or if I need to, you know, heaven forbid, put together some sort of shelter. At least I can kind of work with what I got. Up next we have a power bank. This was a free one my dad got a long time ago, so I'm not exactly sure what brand it is, but it was just a little free power bank he got. It's good for a couple phone charges. I've used it to charge my phone when we have power outages. I'd say maybe if I have like an iPhone 6S, I would say maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 different full charges it's got. But it's really nice. I've got charging cables in there as well. Your phone is such a powerful tool, especially if you end up having to hike home or walk home or whatever. It's just such a valuable tool with maps and communications and being able to look stuff up. So you want to try to keep that going if you can. So that's why I have a nice little power bank in the kit. And then last food item, I have one of these Met RX bars. This is a meal replacement bar. It's 410 calories. Again, just quick and easy food to try to get in as I'm walking, just to keep the energy up. Like I said, I don't have a ton of food in here because, so if we're going on a larger trip, we'll typically take my wife's car. She has an SUV, and she has more food in her Gethomebag that lives in her vehicle. I just have a small sedan, so usually if we're taking my car, it's either if I was going to work, which obviously, due to COVID and the whole pandemic thing, I'm at home, so I'm not going in, and so really we're just using my car to kind of get around town. But even when I was going into the office, my office is only 12 miles away. So I tried to keep it as light as possible and minimalist as possible because I don't want to have a big bulky pack that's going to slow me down. Realistically, to do 12 miles, I probably would be okay with just a water bottle and a granola bar, but I like to have a little bit of extra stuff just in case. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the outside of the pack before we get into the main pocket. I have a 32-ounce Nalgene bottle. It's really good to have a water container, especially if I need to use some of those water purification tablets that are in the first aid kit. It's really nice. You gotta have a lot of water, especially if you're trying to hike home. It's really good to have. So I have one of these Nalgene bottles. I have another container in there as well, but it's nice to just have a backup container with me. And then on the other side pocket, I have a pair of Husky work gloves. They're in a tan color. I really like these. I bought them in like a 2-pack. I believe I have the other pair in my bug out bag as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really nice to just have a set of gloves, especially if you need to do something to the car. I found these come in handy if you just need to put on a spare tire or check the engine or what have you. It's nice to be able to protect your hands. Also, if it gets a little cold, it's better to have a good layer. So I like having those a lot. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the main compartment of this Gethomebag. So our first item is a little notepad. I know, it's not a Right in the Rain pad. This is just a free one my dad got, I don't know, a couple years ago. But the reason I like this, it has this little rubber band here to hold it closed. It also has a side elastic piece that holds a pen, which comes in handy. The other reason I like this notepad a lot is because it has graph paper. So not only can I use it to leave notes, I also thought it was cool that I can be able to map stuff out as well. If I need to, let's say, for whatever reason I'm having, internet connection, I can maybe retrack, do my route or try to make some sort of homemade map on here. So I just like the versatility that the graph paper has. And it's just nice, like I said, with the scrap paper to be able to leave notes and communications and stuff like that. I also have one emergency space blanket. These little Mylar blankets, they come in handy. They're really great to have, especially because they come, a lot of times you can buy them in multiple packs, like 4 packs and stuff like that, and split them up amongst your kits. But they're really lightweight, and they also come in handy, like I said, if my car were to get stuck, in the snow or in a blizzard, at least having some sort of way to keep warm. The other reason I have one of these is if for whatever reason I get stuck overnight somewhere, I can potentially build a shelter and at least try to, keep dry. So that's why I've got one of those. Very versatile, very good to have, and they don't take up a lot of room in the pack. They're not super heavy, and they're pretty inexpensive. Next, I have a 5-pack of these K-N95s. These K-N95s are actually new to me. I used to have the American N95s in there. I actually like these a little bit better. because they come wrapped up, which is nice, and I have 5 of them in here. My vehicle can only fit 5, so it's literally 1 for every passenger. The other nice thing about them is they fold flat, so they store a lot better than the N95s. A lot of times because they're dome shaped, if you put them in the pack, they kind of get deformed and they get kind of smushed up. So I'm starting to like these a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think, but for me, they're working out. It's good to have, especially when I was going into the office. I used to work right by the airport. Not that I think that airport was a major target, but it was definitely one of the larger airports in America. So there was always a threat of maybe a terrorist attack, dirty bomb, or nuclear weapon. So it is nice to have these. They also come in handy for a bunch of other things if there's fires or what have you, just to be able to protect your respiratory system and not be breathing in any debris or anything like that. So I like to have these in all my kits, and they don't take up a lot of room or add a lot of weight. Alright, up next I have a pair of very stylish green sunglasses. Another thing, being able to protect your eyes is very important. Typically I am wearing glasses, as you can see, but I do like to have sunglasses, not only just in sunny days, but also they do provide some concealment. The other reason they're great is, let's say I get stranded in the snow and it's during the day. You have to be careful of hiking in the snow. If you're staring at the snow, especially on a sunny day, it can really hurt your eyes from all the light reflecting off the snow. You can actually go snow blind and lose vision. So you don't want that. So I like to have these just as a backup. The other thing, as I mentioned, because I wear glasses, I've got some backup contacts. I need to be able to see, so I like having a backup set just in case. And up next, I have one of these smart water bottles. I like these. They're exactly 1 liter. This is my other container as a backup to the Nalgene. The other reason I like these is because they will screw on with a lot of popular water filters, and I like to have water that's good to go. If I'm trying to get home as quickly as possible and I'm hiking, I may not have time to stop and filter water. So I want to just try to get home as quickly as possible. So this gives me 1 liter of clean water to drink, where I don't have to stop or filter anything. So this is a good option. I like to have this. I know it adds a little bit of weight, but in this application, this pack's pretty light, so I really don't mind putting a little bit of extra weight to hopefully save some time. Alright, so the last thing I have in here is another set of clothes. So I have an extra pair of jeans in here, as well as sort of a makeshift skivvy roll. In here I have a hooded sweatshirt, a pair of socks, pair of underwear, a bandana, as well as a winter hat. The reason I have that, I live in the Midwest and the weather here is all over the place. Even in the summer it can get pretty cold at night, and a lot of times we get hit with, I've had where it snowed and it's also been 70 in the same week, so the weather's just all over the place. So you need to have extra clothes with you. The other thing is, you're not always appropriately dressed for the situation. Sometimes you're just going to run to the store. Sometimes at work you're going to be more formal clothes. So I do like to have a completely new set of clothes. Also, I have a pair of boots in the trunk of my car, so that's why I don't have that in the kit. But I do like to have an extra set of clothes just as a redundancy to try to keep warm, keep dry, and make sure you're all good. Alright guys, so that's my personal get home bag. That's all my contents. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, is there anything that you guys have in your get home bags that I don't have? Any suggestions? I love reading the comments. I love reading the suggestions. You guys have a lot of great ideas, so I appreciate all the feedback I got on this. Guys, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And if you're not already, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.